Well, I rode this to work today, and the blinking ABS light on the dash was super annoying. So I decided to delete the ABS, but I'm gonna leave this unit in only for the fact that it has nice stainless braided lines that look pretty recently replaced. And I did look at doing the full ABS unit removal, and it includes these two lines right here, because this line comes out of the master, goes up to the unit, and then this line is the line that comes back from the ABS unit and goes to your brake. So in theory, I could just take this hose end and attach it to the master. I would just need a female to female union, and that would solve my issue for the back. And then for the front, I would just need to install a hard line that connects these two, because this is the master for the front brake right here. It runs down, goes to the ABS module, comes back here in the bottom. So to delete the ABS module, I would just loop this right here, and then it would just go master straight to front brake, and then master straight to rear brake. And then I could take this whole unit out plus the lines, and I can't remember, people say it weighs like 29 pounds or something. For the moment, just to see what I can get though, you just pop this cover off and you take the two wires off. There's one for the front, one for the rear, and then you unplug this out of the side, and that will disable the module. But luckily on these early GS's, they don't have the servos. These are a straight through system. So it just pops in there, pops out. And if you disable it, your brakes still work. I think it's the 1200s that they have a servo. And if the ABS stops working or you delete it, you have residual braking, which is like 50% of standard. And then I also noticed in traffic that the front shock was too soft, much too soft. And during my off-road trip this weekend, I bottomed the front out enough, and so I turned it all the way up to its stiffest setting just to see, and if it's too stiff, then I can go back, and if it's not stiff enough, then it's perfect, because I didn't spend that much on this bike, and the upgrade shock is $900. Well, I'm not very good at saying or at doing what I said I was going to. I decided to just go ahead and delete the whole system now. So I cut a piece of 12-inch wire that roughly mimics how all this needs to be, transferred it over to a line. Now I'll put the line on here. And then I also got, this is an M10 by 1 to M12 by 1 adapter to go in here, because this is M12 and this is M10. I think this is M12. So I'll pop that in there, and then I'll make another hose that kind of loops around in here with this other one I bought. And these are just 12-inch 3/16 tube, and they're M10 by 1 bubble flare, and that's kind of the German Euro thing. Dang, camera won't focus, but you know what I'm saying. All right, I've got the lines in, I've got it bled. So this is that line I had roughly shaped. Need a little more tweaking, but I like where it is now. Got the rear all bled in the back. These are the old rear lines. These ran up to where the module was and back. And then those are the front lines that ran up to right here. So this is what I did with the front. This is that M12 to M10 adapter because my line had M10 nuts on it. This one kind of got a little roughed up, but it's gonna be okay. And the front's bled as well. And I think I should be all good to go. This is the module out of the bike. It weighs 12 kilograms or roughly a pack of Coors Light for the Americans. So we're making good progress. While the tank is off, I might look into why my fuel gauge isn't working. And then also I have a little rattle that annoys me. So making good progress. So I was terminating these old wires that aren't used anymore. I wrapped them individually and then wrapped them together, wrapped up the plug on the face, and then secured it just here to the mount. And while I was doing that, I noticed that the wires for my Hall effect sensor that come up are not doing well. So I'm gonna do a little research on how to fix this. Well, I am in the process of replacing the Hall effect sensor because of this wire right here, this wiring mess right here. So I have set the bike to top dead center. You do that through this hole right here. You can see a little OT in there, if it'll focus, and a line, and you want to set that line midway through the hole. And then you lock it at top dead center over here. Where this Allen key is. If you can see that. It's supposed to be a 3/8 inch dowel, but you can use 11/32 Allen key, a short one, and it works just the same as if it's factory. And then I had to pull my crash bars like halfway off on this side and all the way off on the other side, but then the front cover, prior to setting it at top dead center, take the front cover off, and then once you have it locked at front top dead center, then you can pull your pulley off. And then a lot of people debate whether or not to mark this where the old sensor was, because it is adjustable in these slots here and here, side to side, or if you should build a little timing thing and do a whole bit. I'm gonna try it this way. The worst that happens is it won't start, and then I know that I need to retime it. So I'm gonna do that. So I just have to pull this, pull the plug out from people having fun in the neighborhood, to pull the plug out from the alternator, and then the Hall effect sensor can come out. Well, here's the new sensor on my marker and scribed marks. I did have to take everything loose for the alternator adjustment and then pry up in here to get the plug through that gap, because the plug runs right here. It's this wire you can see in the gap, and it comes down under the alternator and then through to right here. So one thing to note on a GS is to make sure that your alternator adjustment stuff is loose so that you can pry up there and have enough clearance to get it through. Well, I have the new shiny Hall effect sensor in there. I have the pulley on, torque to 50 Newton meters or 37 foot-pounds for the bald eagle overs. The belt is tensioned, all three alternator tension bolts and nut are back together. And then I went ahead on this side of the Hall effect sensor and electric shaped that so that it's a little more waterproof. And then while I was in here, I put on this wire sleeve just to keep those wires that were just kind of loose in there protected a little better. I need to zip tie that in, but I threw a zip tie on this end over here. So coming along, making good progress. Just took it for a little ride. The suspension feels way better. The braking does feel better, probably just because it needed bled a little bit more than it had been originally. The ABS lights aren't going bing bong now with the completely deleted system. The only issue that I still have is that the high beams are on, or at least the indicator is on. So I'm gonna take apart the high beam switch, and then it's also possible that the ground that is under all of this is faulty. So far so good. I also ordered a Dominator exhaust for it to get rid of the cat. So it's coming along. I'm really excited, almost having this done.